Hi, Vicki from stampingvickysvisions.blogspot.com. Once a month I go to a retirement apartment complex and I make 2 cards with the people that are there. This is one of the cards that we're going to be making, and I want to show you just how easy that is to do. So let's get started. First I'm using a piece of Tip Top Taupe, and I'm going to use the flowering flourishes to make my background. You could use anything to do a background. I just kind of like this one because it's kind of an elegant look. One thing I like to tell my ladies, and I even have one gentleman that comes to my class, is always stamp off. And I don't want to mess up my mat that I just devised for my videoing, so I'm going to lay a piece of black paper towel down and I'm going to stamp off just a couple different times there. That looks good. Next, I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to take a piece of my pink, and I'm going to take a Melon Mambo stamp pad, and I'm going to be using this Bloom For You stamp. It's a single stamp that Stampin' Up! Sells. It comes as a wooden stamp, but I'm not going to put it on wood. I'm going to put it on clear block, and I have one. Should have had this out, but don't. With tape on it so that I can stick that right to it and it'll stick on there. I'm going to give it some good coverage. I always tell my people when they're stamping on a stamp pad to stamp, stamp, rub, rub, or rub and then stamp. I mean, boy, I'm really getting tongue-tied. The stamp, when you stamp after rubbing, the rubbing would give it a good coverage, but then it has a streaked look to it if you have a solid stamp. So by doing the stamp last, it kind of clears that up and gives it a nice finished look. Then we're going to take the matching die punch that goes with that set, and there is a definite way to put this in. If you notice, there's a curved petal right here, and these mostly all have points to them. Well, that looks like that. You can see that this one right here in the punch is the same way. So, and I did a doozy of a job of cutting that really close. Might have to help some people with that. Line it up, punch. Okay. Now, let me show you the card again. We're going to do the little flowers. The little flowers come from this stamp set, Petite Petals, and they match really well. So, I'm going to take one of those. Oh, which one do we want? Let's do this one. And we're going to put this on a clear block. One of the nice things about the clear blocks is that you can actually see through them. So if you weren't doing something like this where it didn't matter where you was putting it, you could see right where you're putting the block. Now with these ones, you can't see as well as with the clear ones, with the orange rubbered ones, but it still works pretty good. So we're going to use Daffodil Delight. I have a lot of Stampin' Up! Product, and that is because I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. We need about 5 of these. Would look good on there. And then we're going to take a matching punch. One nice thing is that we've got a lot of matching punches and die cuts that will allow you to make a card quicker and very nicely. You don't have to spend all your time freehand cutting all of this stuff. You could, but it's just nice to be able to do something quick and have an end result that looks beautiful. Okay. Now let's bring back in our base card. I've already punched the same flower, large flower, out of the green, and I'm going to use that for the leaves. The first thing I'm going to do is get some foam tape or some pop dots or whatever it is that you want to use. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. And right here, I'm just giving my flower petals a little bit of a textured look. And I'm going to put that down. Oops, forgot to take the backing off of the dimensional tape. Oh, I forgot. You also need to stamp the center of this flower. So I guess that means I need to clean this off. Just a minute here. Let me go off screen here. I don't. I used the Hello Honey for the center. Where did I put my scrap paper? I think I'm going to have to perfect this video making business and figure out how I can have everything laid out right where it needs to be, so that the video doesn't end up being so long because I'm looking for something that I cannot find. That's never happened to you before, has it? Let's see if I can do it with this. All I want is the middle of this. I'm going to stamp this off so I don't get it on my background. See there, I've got my middle, and then there is another punch that matches the center of that flower. It's a flower that you can actually stamp and punch with different things to give it some dimension, which is what we're going to do with this. We're going to punch that out, and then I'm going to put this straight down on the card because I actually popped up the flower itself. There's the card. I just stamped that on the wrong color of card. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. I'll get it yet. If you're watching this video, you're probably suffering through it. I appreciate you watching. Okay, tape. I think I have a love-hate relationship with these snail runners. Sometimes they work for me, and sometimes they just don't seem to work very good. So there's our center. I'm going to cut some leaves, and then I'm going to get some glue, put on the Okay, did I pick up a glue that doesn't have any glue in it? Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit much. Put a little bit on this one. And kind of tuck those in. Kind of right behind the petals of the flower, where I think they might look nice. You could put these anywhere, and you could put as many on as you wanted. I'm going to do about 3. Put this one down here on this one. And then I'm going to take, better close up my stamp pad. That's one thing you don't want to do, is leave your stamp pad sit open too long, because it dries them out. And then I'm going to take my little flowers. Let's turn them all over here. Do this quick. Okay, now we're going to place those on. One of the ladies that comes to my class isn't going to be able to be there, and she's ordered 2 sets of each of the cards I'm going to make. And so I thought, well, I'd try making a video with my new setup and see how well it turned out. So that's the card, except for the sentiment, and I know she wants to put a sympathy on her card, so I'm not going to put a sentiment on this one. But it just kind of looks nice. It looks nice. It looks like a nice card, but it just needed a little bit of bling. So I brought in these dots, colored dots from Stampin' Up. I used one in the middle of the big one, and then these I just got from, I think, Joann's on the dollar rack or something like that. And I really felt like these little yellow flowers needed something extra. Well, that just flipped and is gone. Let's see if I can get another one. Okay. Let's see. How's that? So I'm going to put all these oh, for crying out loud, I've never had so much trouble with these little things before in my life. Now I've got it stuck to my finger. Don't want it on my finger, I want it on the flower. Come on, come on. Here's another one. Two more, and we'll be done. Okay. So, there's the completed card. Here's the one with the sentiment that I made earlier. And I decorated the inside. I just didn't put a sentiment on it. A lot of times when I'm making a card, I don't put a sentiment on it until I get ready to send it. That way I can earmark it for whoever and whatever the occasion might be. Well, I'm glad you came. I hope you come back. And you can check me out at my blog at stampingvickysvisions.blogspot.com. Have a nice day. Bye.